Welcome. Find the quietest corner you can. Put on your headphones and dim the lights. We are about to enter a place where very few are allowed to tread. The server room inside your brain. There is a cruel rumor circulating about those with the INTP and ISTP personality types. They say you are robots without hearts. They say you are emotionless, cold, and arrogant. They say you are lazy, content to sit in one spot with abstract theories or buried deep in machinery. Perhaps right at this moment, you are listening to this in the dark, wearing an old, worn-out t-shirt, because logically, it's comfortable, so why replace it if it works? You hear these judgments, and you just smirk, that characteristic half-smile. You don't bother explaining, because what is the point of explaining to people who aren't running the same operating system as you? Here is the truth. You are not emotionless. You are simply running an OS that is fundamentally different from 90% of the human population. While the world out there runs on the fuel of emotion, on social handshakes, forced smiles, and arbitrary rules of politeness, the machine in your head accepts only one type of fuel: logical truth. Its scientific name is TI, Introverted Thinking. Imagine your brain is a quantum supercomputer. It is constantly running simulations, constantly deconstructing everything you see. Why is the sky blue? Why does this chair stand upright? Why did the boss make such a stupid decision? To maintain this massive analytical engine, you are forced to shut down unnecessary background apps. Asking, "Lovely weather, isn't it?" Disabled. Fake laughing at a joke you don't like. Disabled. Participating in office drama. System shut down. Outsiders look in and see a black screen. They call it heartless. I call it optimal energy-saving mode. You aren't lazy. You just refuse to waste a single milligram of energy on illogical things. But my dear friend, what is the price of such optimization? It is absolute solitude within your own intellect. Today, we decode this curse of clarity. If your life were a myth, you wouldn't be one of the glamorous gods on Mount Olympus. You would be Diogenes, the most infamous cynic philosopher of Athens. Let me tell you about your spiritual ancestor. Diogenes didn't live in a mansion. He lived in a wooden barrel, or a large ceramic jar, in the middle of the marketplace. His only possessions were a ragged cloak and a wooden bowl for drinking water. One day, he saw a child cup his hands to drink from a stream. Immediately, Diogenes took his only bowl and smashed it. He said, "This child has taught me that I still possess unnecessary things. Why use a bowl when my hands suffice?" That is extreme TI thinking, minimalizing everything to its core essence, stripping away the superfluous, the ornamental. But his most famous story is the encounter with Alexander the Great, the most powerful man in the world at that time. Alexander, hearing of Diogenes, sought out his barrel. The king stood before the beggar and said, "I am Alexander the Great. I admire your wisdom. Ask for anything, and I shall grant it." What do you think Diogenes asked for? Gold? A palace? A title? No. Diogenes squinted, looked at the king blocking the entrance to his barrel, and said calmly, "Yes, stand a little out of my sun." My dear INTPs and ISTPs, isn't that what you want to scream at society every day? Society brings you fame, money, networking parties, and complex etiquette, and all you want to say is, "Please move, you are blocking my train of thought. Stop dragging me into pointless meetings. Don't make me compliment your new dress when it is objectively average." Diogenes had another peculiar habit. In the blazing daylight, he would light a lantern and shine it into people's faces. When asked, he replied, "I am just looking for a human, a real human." To him, the people walking around were not humans. They were puppets, puppets of greed, of vanity, of pretense.
Your TI function is that lantern. It is a cold scalpel. You see through the nature of everything. You hear a promise from your boss, and your brain automatically analyzes. Probability of execution is 5% based on historical data. You look at a marketing campaign and see pure emotional manipulation, zero logic. You are allergic to the fake. You crave precision. If someone speaks an untruth, you feel an itch, a physical discomfort. You must correct them. Actually, technically, that's X, not Y. And so, people hate you. They call you nitpicky, arrogant. You carry the lantern to find the truth, but its light is too harsh, blinding those around you and making them turn away.
But the audacity of Diogenes is just a shell. Beneath that shell lies a deep loneliness. And this second figure describes your inner world perfectly. Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths. In mythology, Hephaestus was the only god who was ugly and lame. He was thrown from Mount Olympus by his own mother, Hera, because she was ashamed of his appearance. Hephaestus was not welcome at the lavish parties of the gods. He wasn't a smooth talker, not a flirt, not shiny. So what did he do? He withdrew. He retreated deep into the heart of a volcano. He built himself a massive forge, and there, alone, he found peace. He crafted the most exquisite machines in the universe, the impenetrable armor of Achilles, golden handmaidens that could think, a net invisible to the eye that could trap the god of war. This is the metaphor for your man cave. Whether you are an INTP or ISTP, you have a cave. It might be the corner of a room with a 3-monitor PC setup. It might be a grease-filled garage with disassembled engines. It might be a world of code or a stack of philosophy books. Why do you hide there? Because in Hephaestus's world, everything follows logic. If a machine doesn't run, you know for a fact there is a cause. Missing fuel, a broken wire, or a syntax error. You can fix it. Machines are loyal. Machines are understandable. Machines don't lie. But humans? Humans are broken machines. Humans are fickle, sunny one moment, storming the next. They say I'm fine, but expect you to know I'm actually angry. They act on impulsive emotion, not data. To the TI brain, human emotion is an unsolvable equation. It is chaos. And because you can't fix people, you choose to avoid them. You try to use logic to solve emotional problems. Your partner is crying. You stand there, feeling awkward. Your brain runs an analysis. Why is she crying? Boss shouted at her. Solution, quit job or confront boss. You offer the solution, and she screams, "You don't understand anything. I just need you to listen." You get the blue screen of death. System crash. You don't understand. How does listening solve the root problem? And so you retreat back into your cave, locking the door. Hephaestus would rather be friends with golden robots than face the complexity of the human heart. But my friend, locking yourself in the cave for too long leads to a fatal disease, the deepest level of T-hell, nihilism and apathy. When an INTP or ISTP disconnects from the world for too long or faces failure, you fall into a negative loop, the TI-SI loop for INTPs or TI-NI loop for ISTPs. At this point, your sharp scalpel of logic turns inward and it begins to dissect the very meaning of your own existence. You start to deconstruct everything until it dissolves into dust. You look at love. Logic says, just a chemical reaction for reproduction. Why suffer for it? You look at your career. Logic says, so I become a CEO? I'll die anyway, turn to dust. The universe faces heat death. All effort is statistically meaningless. You look at a gourmet meal. Logic says, just organic fuel intake. You become too awake, so awake that you lose the ability to enjoy anything. You look at people outside rushing to work, laughing, falling in love, and you see them as mindless ants. You smirk at their efforts. Why do they try so hard? Don't they know it's all pointless? You become a passive observer. You are the smartest person in the room, but you do the least, because you see no reason to do anything. This is Hephaestus's trap. You have built an iron cage of logic so perfect that even you cannot escape it. You are safe in that meaninglessness, because if you do nothing, you can never be wrong, never be disappointed. But deep beneath that cold exterior, I know there is a child screaming. A child craving connection, craving to see life in color, not just the black and white of true and false. So, how does Diogenes step out of the barrel? How does Hephaestus find love? The answer does not lie in logic. You cannot use logic to heal the pain caused by logic. The answer lies in your weakest function, the one you despise and fear the most, FE, extroverted feeling. In mythology, this is the hearth fire of the goddess Hestia, the fire of connection, family, and warmth. I know, you hate FE. You find it fake, annoying. But listen to me. You are a hacker, aren't you? Why not try to hack this vulnerability? Strategy 1. Treat emotion as data. This is the only way the TI brain accepts emotion. Do not view your partner's tears as irrationality. View them as input data. Do not view a social smile as fake. View it as a network protocol. When you type "Hello World," the computer responds. When you smile and ask, "How are you?" the human responds and opens a port. That is the operating mechanism of human society. Learn social rules like you learn a new programming language. If partner is sad, then hug plus silence. Do not offer solution. Result, sustainable relationship. Benefit, stable life. See, that is logic. Use your intelligence to optimize relationships instead of rejecting them. Strategy 2. Find a worthy problem. Your laziness and nihilism stem from the fact that you haven't found a problem hard enough or interesting enough to solve. Hephaestus needs to craft weapons. Diogenes needs to find truth. Stop sitting there analyzing the meaning of life. Meaning is not something to be found. Meaning is something created through action. For ISTPs, use your hands. Fix a car, climb a mountain, play a sport. Physical friction pulls you out of the thought loop. For INTPs, write code, write a book, build a theory, publish it to the world. When you create, you reconnect with reality. Strategy 3. Embrace the glitch. This world is not clean code. It is spaghetti code. And isn't that kind of interesting? Step out of the barrel. Stop shining your lantern looking for the perfect human. You won't find one. Accept people who are a little glitchy. Accept that you are currently glitching too. You're not perfect either, right? Your intelligence is a sharp gift, but a scalpel only saves lives when it is in the hands of a compassionate doctor. Otherwise, it is just a weapon. Turn off the energy-saving mode, just for a little while each day, and try running the program called Connection. It might drain your battery, it might overheat the CPU, but trust me, the graphics are amazing. Thank you for listening, you lonely architects of the world. Now, step into the light.